Have you? Whenever you're ready for your opening statement, we'll take that.
All right, let me get my hat fixed up here. All right, yeah. First of all, just give Virginia Tech a lot of credit. We knew they're a good football team coming in, and I think their coaching staff do a really, really good job. Of what they do. They want to run the football and then be solid in everything else. And thought they came out tonight, and that's what they did. They were established the run. Were able to get some big plays off of that run, and then they kind of, we didn't do much offensively at the beginning of the game, and then they jump out to a 21-0 lead. And I told our guys, I was real proud of them because of what they did. They, real easy could have just said, man, this game's over. We're missing some guys. Start hanging your head and start making excuses, but they didn't do that, and they continued to fight. I thought we got a big spark out of Hawks' run right before the half, 90-yard touchdown run, and in the halftime there's a lot of spirit there. And you come back out in the second half, and you're just battling, back and forth. And I thought Cunningham played a really good game today. One bad throw on the interception. The other two interceptions were, a tip ball by a receiver, and then fourth down play where you got to just throw it in the end zone. So thought he played outstanding there, particularly in the last few drives there in the fourth quarter. A lot of fight, and just came up a little bit short. Didn't get enough plays there at the end, and had a hard time stopping them there on some of those drives right there at the end of the game. But again, I'm proud of our guys. Tough way to end it though.
Go to Cameron with Tim on deck.
Hey Scott, Cameron with the Courier Journal. When did you find out you were going to be missing so many guys today, and were those most of those absences COVID related?
Yeah, we found out this morning, on most of those guys, and you are correct with that. We're in the year of this virus we're having to deal with, and we've been doing a great job with it really this whole time, and really got caught with it, today actually, so right now. So, this is the most difficult time really for all us coaches, I think, because you're dealing with all the parameters that we have with this, and you got the hand that you dealt. You got to deal with it and move forward, and that's kind of what we did.
Coach Tim Sullivan from Courier, because of the how depleted your defense was, what kind of adjustments did you have to make, maybe even today, in terms of personnel and alignment and strategy, trying to get some of the guys up front, particularly some breathers?
Tim, very difficult to do. We were down to 5 D linemen today, and we usually like to play 7 or 8. And then on top of that, you're playing a team that wants to run the football, and they're one of the best in the country at that. And that's very, very difficult. So, we said we tried to get a couple of maybe some linebackers. Maybe we could, if we needed to get some spells, let those guys come in there and play D line. But we really ended up just rotating those 5 guys, trying to keep them as fresh as you can, which is difficult. Monty Montgomery was out at linebacker, which, he's arguably one of our best playmakers on the defensive side of the ball. So you missed him. Isaiah Hayes was out, starting safety, who basically the quarterback of the defense back in the back end. What we did, we told the other guys, now's your opportunity and your chance to come out and make some plays. And maybe you haven't got as many plays or many reps in the game, so now's your time. You're training just like everybody else. And so those guys went out and played really hard and gave everything they had tonight. And, at the end of it, it wasn't good enough. But you got to make adjustments and the best you can. And really, when you don't have that many players on one side of the ball, there's not a whole lot you can do. We don't have a bunch of guys to go to anyway. And, so you that's all you have. That's all we had to work with. And so we were just kind of rotating those guys in, probably got wore down a little bit there, by the fourth quarter.
Go to Michael Mccammon, followed by Chris Heidel.
Coach Satterfield, thoughts or explanation on the onside kick pulled within a score, 5 minutes to go in the game. What was the thought process behind that?
Well, it was a hard time stopping them, number one. And so you want to get the ball back. The one thing they can do is when they occupy the ball is run the timeout. And time was the essence, and we needed to score, and we needed to score quickly. And so the first time that we did onside with 5 minutes to go, we're thinking maybe we can catch them off guard. And I think we did catch them off guard a little bit with that. Anytime, you guys know, anytime on an onside kick, you got to have to get the proper balance. And so the first one, they ended up getting the ball on a 30-yard line, which was like it would be on a normal kick anyway. And so you're trying to get a ball, maybe it bounces your way. The second one, we did have them outflanked on that one, and the ball's just got to bounce. It bounced right over Hawkins' head. I mean, it was just one of those deals that's bouncing and then all of a sudden goes right over the head. Then the last one there, it was a perfect kick. Hawkins got it. They got us for the delay of game, so we were 1 second past the delay of game. So, we're trying to win the game. I mean, that's why we onside kicked it. I mean, if you kick it deep, and they melt out 5 minutes of the clock, you don't even give yourself a chance. So we're just trying to win the game.
Go to Chris.
Hey, Coach, talk about Cunningham's development tonight. Let's talk about his game and how's he doing since the last couple of weeks. It seemed like he had 80 fewer skill pass.
I'm sorry, we cannot understand your question. If you want to text something to me, we'll try. We'll go to Tyler Griever.
Hey, Coach, early on in this one, it seemed like Malik was under a good deal of pressure in the first half. How would you evaluate how the offensive line kind of played over the course of this game?
Yeah, I thought we did. The first play we get sacked, and it was a play where they slanted the defensive end all the way underneath the offensive line, and it was a good move by them. I thought, it's hard to go back. We have to go back and see how they actually really played. I thought there in the second half when they knew we were going to throw it in the fourth quarter, I thought he did a really good job protection. I think it was a couple of things early in the game that they were doing some stunts, to be able to beat our offensive line to get in the backfield. And a couple of those was coverage issues as well. But I think we'll have to go back and look. I thought they played okay. Was it great? Probably not great, but it wasn't bad either. I mean, I think they're just probably solid. But if you go back and look at the film, we'll have more idea about how they played.
Go to Rick Bozich on the phone.
Yeah, Coach. The run by Javian Hawkins. It's very little time left in the quarter. A lot of people thought you might take a knee. What did you see there, and how was he able to break that play like that?
Well, that's a set that we like. In third down situations, is 3-by-1 with 4 wide, and so sometimes teams don't load up the weak side, and that's where he ended up hitting. So we run and play to the weak side. And one of his great attributes is to be able to run fast once he breaks past the linebackers. And he got a couple good blocks down the field and was able to turn on the speed. And he's a great big play threat back, one of the best in the country. I think if you go back and look at his numbers over the last year and a half, he's one of those guys that's probably got as many 20-plus yard runs as anybody. And he showed that again. You're never out of it when you give him the football. He's got an opportunity to score. And he's a special player, and he competes his tail off. I love the way he plays. So that was a big spark for us right before halftime.
Back to Cameron and then to Tim.
Yeah, Scott, with so many guys out with COVID, with COVID issues, I guess, obviously the ACC means you kind of have to have them out for so long. How do you prepare for Virginia Tech you had 5 active defensive linemen today?
Talking about for the game today or next?
No, how do you prepare for Virginia going forward?
Oh, Virginia going forward. Well, in this world we're living in this year, 2020, you take everything day by day. So we'll look at it tomorrow and we'll figure out where we are with everybody, and see what we need to do personnel-wise, because when it gets thrown to you on a Saturday morning before you got to play, you really don't have much time to change anything that you've already worked on that whole week. The only positive is now where you actually maybe know, and so you have a little bit more time to kind of game plan to figure out where we need to put guys with your personnel to see what we need to do. So we'll assess it tomorrow, and we'll figure out what we need to do as far as if there's anybody we need to move around. Is there any young guys maybe that maybe haven't played a whole lot, and now we need to get them reps, because that's what ends up happening, trying to get guys reps throughout practice so they'll know what the game plan is. So we'll know more about that tomorrow, probably Monday, kind of give you an update on that.
We'll take 2 more questions from Tim and Rick.
Coach, with the exception of a punter, all of these players were on defense who were unavailable today. Have you done any contact tracing to suggest that there was a specific issue, a party, or a meeting where all of these guys were?
No, I don't think it was any of that. I think, it's really an issue where, all it takes is one person, and then all of a sudden, maybe it's one other, but, it's really not anything we can link it back to. Obviously it'll be something that it just came on to us this morning. So, we haven't had a great time to investigate, but I don't suspect it's anything like you mentioned there as far as parties or any of that kind of thing. I mean, our guys have been outstanding this whole time since they've been back. They understand the ramifications of when you're out and about, that what could happen. We're on a college campus where there's a lot of people, and so you never know. No, I don't think anybody really truly knows where they come in contact, but I think our guys do a really good job with it.
Thank you.
Rick?
Yeah, Scott, Clemson has already announced that Trevor Lawrence won't play next week against Notre Dame. Do you know if any of these guys will be out next week or if any of them will be back?
I don't know. We'll address it tomorrow, and by Monday we'll have a pretty good update, I think. But we'll see. We'll see where everybody's going to be located with that. Obviously there's protocols. There's certain days everybody has to wait. For some they will be out next week. For others they may be back. So we'll have to see where it's at.
Thank you for joining us, Coach.
All right. Thank you, guys.